Later on, you will learn that before Matan Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu brought Karbonis, and it says, Vayishlach es Na'arei b'nei Yisrael, he sent the Na'arim, the Neorim. Rashi says, who are these Na'arei b'nei Yisrael, who are the Neorim? The B'choros. Up until after, when the Leviim were chosen, this was much later, the B'chorim, they were the one who represented the Aveda, because the B'chorim represent, even among the Jewish people, the greatest power of what the Jewish people stood for. They were ready to do the Aveda. In the English. And therefore, B'chorim Mitzrayim means not just the firstborn, but it means the power pillar of Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, was a country, was a people that were morally depraved, were oivdei avodah zarah, and their strength consisted in this depravity, in this tumah. The B'chorim, they represented that tumah into the greatest degree. They represented the power of Mitzrayim, the avodah zarah of Mitzrayim, more strongly than any other part of the population. So now, okay, so we have that point of B'choros. How does Malchus B'choros take place? Malchus B'choros, it says, Hashem says, Ve'avarti be'eretz Mitzrayim alayla hazeh. Ve'avarti, I will pass through Mitzrayim. Which means that Hashem will reveal His presence in Mitzrayim. Hashem reveals His presence. That's revealing the highest power of Kedusha possible. Hashem, His own presence. This power of Kedusha has a direct clash, opposition with the power of Tumah. And therefore, when this power of Kedusha reveals itself, the most significant power of the Tumah gets destroyed, melts away. This is why the Mechorim was smitten. It wasn't just choosing arbitrarily a certain part of the population, because the Mechorim represented the epitome, the deepest klipa of Mitzrayim, the biggest strength of Mitzrayim. When Hashem revealed Himself, then this is what was affected. The biggest strength that their tumor was disintegrated. So this is one point that we see, that the whole inyan of Malchus B'choros is not just that Hashem did a makeh. He brought hail, He brought orev, or whatever it is. Hashem revealed His own presence. And the effect of His presence reflected itself on Mitzrayim. And it reflected itself in the fact that B'chorim had died. That showed Father clearly, as a first thing, that this is Hashem's presence. This is not just a makeh. The other makeh is for a makeh. Hashem did this, Hashem did that. As we said before, it proved Hashem's ability. And it proves that Hashem can do it. But it didn't show Him firsthand to see Hashem's presence. This makeh is a direct reflection of Hashem's presence. And this completely moved Paro. He had to, it's not a question of admitting, he saw it. He saw that the effect of this makeh is the result of Hashem's presence. This is why the B'chorim died. This is one thing that we see from that. Another thing is that the Moshe Rabbeinu told Paroi about Makas B'choros. He made sure to tell him that Makas B'choros is going to be Kachatzois Halayla. When the night splits, when the night divides, in the middle of the night. This is from a Sikha from Rebbe, which is a very rich Sikha from Rebbe about this evening. But this point is a Sikha from Rebbe. What was the point of saying that this was going to be in the middle of the night? What's significant about the middle of the night? What's the difference when it happens? Then the Rebbe explains that the middle of the night represents the moment of the middle of the night is a moment where when there is a revelation of Hashem's presence in the world of a quality that is of a madrege, of a level that is not part of Hishtalshelus. It's called above Hishtalshelus. I'll explain in a moment the term. It means Hashem's presence himself, that which is above Hishtalshelus. The term Hishtalshelus, most of you probably have already learned about it. Hishtalshelus means how the godly power descends from a higher level to a lower level. And then there is a principle, another quality, another type of godly presence, which does not take place, which does not participate in this descent. That always stays where it is. This is like in a person. In a person there are the koiches, the functional qualities of a person, capability of a human being, starting from his brain, his intellect, his emotion, and then his functioning koiches like speech, thought, speech, and deed. These are all koiches that are participating in a certain process. It starts from the brain and goes it lowers itself into the emotion. From the emotion it comes back into machshava, dibur, u'maisa, and then he acts. Clearly in the brain there is much greater soul power than there is in the act. But it all comes from there, and this is called Seder Hishtalshelus. But it changes down from one madrega to the next and comes down. So that every act that a person does originated in the brain, but not as an act, originated in the brain as a concept. And then it came down into the emotion and into decision-making process and so forth, and then he acted on. So from that perspective, if we look at the Seder Hishtalshelus, so to speak, a person changes from one state to another state. There's a time when he sits and learns, a time when he contemplates, when he reflects on what he learns, when he makes decisions, a time when he becomes personally involved emotionally. It's a different person. There's a time when he acts. Again, it's a different person. The person changes from state to state. So that everything that is in that category, that participates in this chaining down of koiches, changes all the time. But then there's another level in the person.